2024 meeting of the Oshkosh Common Council. With the city clerk, could you please take the roll?
Ford.
Here.
Stevenson.
Here.
Bulow.
Here.
Hayes.
Present.
Esslinger.
Here.
Erickson.
Here.
Muglebauer.
Here.
7 present.
Leading us in the invocation tonight will be Councilmember Ford.
As we gather tonight, we are grateful for the good things that have come to this city. May our decisions always be ones that are for the well-being of all whom we govern.
And then this evening, we have students from Emmeline Cook as well as Oak Lawn Elementary that are here to help us with the pledge. Ladies, if you wouldn't mind coming on up, I'll join you down there.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very well done. Very well done. So we have Eleanor from Emmeline Cook, we have Riley from Oak Lawn, and we have Olivia from Oak Lawn as well. Thank you so much for coming here tonight, helping us with the pledge. Thank you for parents and guardians for bringing them tonight. Much appreciated. It's a beautiful night out there. We won't keep it too long, I promise. Girls, if you wouldn't mind, tell us your name, what school, maybe your teacher and favorite subject, if you don't mind. All right?
My name is Eleanor. I go to Emmeline Cook. I'm in 5th grade. My teacher is Mr. Oler, and my favorite subject is reading.
My name is Riley. I go to Oak Lawn. I'm in 4th grade. My teacher is Mrs. Larson. My favorite subject is gym.
Good choice. Good choice. Nice to meet you as well. Olivia?
My name is Olivia. I go to Oak Lawn Elementary. I'm in 4th grade. My teacher is Mrs. Larson, and my favorite subject is math.
I think we've got the principals. You guys want to come up and get into this? Perfect opportunity. Come on up. Thank you, again, ladies. Very well done. All right. So before we go on to our public hearing that we have this evening, I'm going to go off script for just a few moments. Tonight is Finance Director Van Gompel's last city council meeting with the city of Oshkosh. He's retiring next week after a lengthy career in public service, and we'd like to acknowledge his efforts here as well as elsewhere over his career. So Councilmember Ford has a brief statement, and then I do as well.
Don't shake your head, Russ. This is good.
Russ, if you wouldn't mind coming on up, at least take a chair up front if you wouldn't mind. Right in the center. I was hoping Mark would put you on the hot seat this evening, but you lost that one. So.
No. So for those who don't know, Director Van Gompel has been a huge asset to the public management profession in Wisconsin, as well as the city of Oshkosh. Last Monday, we had our strategic planning session. I had the pleasure of sitting with Russ, and I asked him how he ended up with the career he had. He told me quite the story. It's kind of remarkable, going from the private sector to the public sector, holding different roles in different regions, becoming a city manager, and then finally coming to Oshkosh to help us out, and then taking on the role of a finance director. Russ is the embodiment of public service. He's had a positive impact at every stop along the way. I did check references, so I know that's true. On long-range finance, which I had the pleasure for many years of serving with Russ, he pushed us all to develop and update our policies on debt, cash management, fund balances, and so much more. And that work may sound boring, but it educated the committee members, educated the public, and it educated staff on the essentials of long-term financial management in local government. Created a foundation that's going to keep Oshkosh fiscally strong for years to come. Now, not to hate on any accountants in the crowd, but it's easy to view a finance director as just simply an accountant crunching numbers, but in reality it's so much more. Russ's creative approach to refinancing our existing debt, keeping us informed on ARPA, and providing accurate information in a transparent fashion benefited taxpayers, increased trust in our government, and really empowered this legislative body to make informed decisions for the benefit of us all. So it's really been a pleasure, Russ, and I think I speak on behalf of everybody else here when I say that. I've learned a lot from you personally, and I wish you nothing but the best in your retirement.
Very nicely said. Very nicely said. I need to have Mike write all of my remarks in the future, because that was very nicely done as usual. As I mentioned, Finance Director Van Goppel is retiring next week. So Russ started his career in Minnesota in public service, moved back home just up the highway to Little Chute. Started out as working up to, I think, a village manager there, if I remember correct, and then moving on to Brown Deer for a lengthy run as village manager there for over a decade, and eventually becoming the city manager in Eau Claire, Wisconsin as well. And prior to joining the team here, he worked in he had retired in Eau Claire, and for the first time at least, and then worked in the private sector and was a consultant and filled in several interim roles, administrative roles throughout the valley. He's been, I can't underestimate this part and overstate it, he's been an important part to our success here in the city of Oshkosh. Russ's leadership has not only helped to transform our finance department and improve our financial position, but he's also been a trusted advisor to the city council. I want to thank Finance Director Van Goppel for his years of service to the city of Oshkosh, as well as a lifetime of dedicated public service. So tonight, I get the honor of presenting Russ with the key to the city. Not exactly sure which door it opens, but you do have a few days left to try to figure it out. But again, congratulations on your upcoming retirement, and best of luck and best wishes in the future. The floor is yours if you'd like to say something.
Well, I wasn't planning on this, so I don't have any prepared comments, but it's been a gratifying career. I really have enjoyed my experience with the city of Oshkosh. It's really not one person that does all the work that has to get done. We've had a great team. Came in here to try to help turn the finance department around, and hopefully I've done that. I've been blessed to have the support of Mary Jo for all these years. There's a lot of times when I've given up family events for sporting events and other things because of night meetings. So it's been a rough career. Sometimes people that work in local government don't get the recognition they deserve, but it's not me. It's really the team and all the employees I've had a chance to work with, and all the cities that I've had the opportunity to serve, and it's really one of service. So I came back to help serve the residents of Oshkosh, and I'm grateful for that, and carrying out the mission of the city council and the city organization. So very appreciative for the kind words and kind remarks, and looking to spend a little bit more time fishing and golfing, even though I'm not that good at golf. But it's time for somebody else to take on some of these roles and responsibilities, and I'm looking forward to spending more time with Mary Jo and my family, my children, my grandchildren, and I really appreciate the time in Oshkosh. Thank you so much.
You got it. Russ?
Got a 7-0 vote up there.
Thank you, council members, for indulging in that. I know we sprung that on you kind of at the last minute there, so appreciate the few extra minutes there. So starting off the meeting tonight, we have a public hearing. We have Resolution 24-103. Approve final resolution for right-of-way vacation of Ivy Place and public alley located between North Main Street and Division Street, south of Church Avenue, and the Plan Commission recommends approval. That'll be the first of 3 readings for action. Second reading, approve final resolution for right-of-way vacation of Ivy Place and public alley located between North Main Street and Division Street, south of Church Ave. Now is the time to speak if you are here on this. Third and final reading of the public hearing For Resolution 24-103, approve final resolution for right-of-way vacation of Ivy Place and Public Alley located between North Main Street and Division Street, south of Church Avenue. We'll consider the public hearing closed. I'll take a motion and a second.
Move it. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, if you'll take the roll on 24-103.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Muglebauer.
Aye.
Carried 7.
We have no one registered for citizen statements tonight. We do have a few people registered for specific agenda items, just a little bit down the path here. So we'll move on to consent agenda. I have no one registered for consent items. We'll take a motion and a second for those as well.
Move the consent agenda.
Second. Any discussion on consent? Seeing none, please take the roll.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Muglebauer.
Aye.
Carried 7.
Pending ordinance, ordinance 24-114, amend Chapter 2, Article 5 of the City of Oshkosh Municipal Code pertaining to staff, offices, and departments. No one's registered on this one. I'll take a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion on this update to the municipal code? Please take the roll.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Muglebauer.
Aye.
Carried 7.
Next up is new ordinances. We have 2 of them. No actions anticipated this evening. This will be the first reading for both. Ordinance 24-115, Charter Ordinance to amend titles of Mayor and Deputy Mayor to Council President and Council Vice President. I do have a Mr. William Mansky here registered to speak. If you'd like to come up to the microphone. Welcome.
Nothing we thought at that time. At that time, should I be closer to the microphone?
There you go. Appreciate it. Thank you.
At that time, we had the mayor-alderman form of government where there were 16 wards and 32 aldermen and a mayor. And nothing got done. And we were called, it was not called the city council, it was called the comic council. And there was great dislike for that. And because the city was not moving, we had streets that hardly any paving in the city. We couldn't even get a new high school at that time. And nothing was happening. When I was senior in high school in a journalism class, the teacher came to me to the class and said, "There's an essay contest going on right now, and I want you all to enter that. There'll be a prize for the winner. And as the essay contest is the future of Oshkosh, and you're going to write an essay on it, what it's going to be like." So I wrote my essay, and I said, Oshkosh has no future. People I know are going to lose, they're going to leave. The kids in my class are going to leave. We can't get a new high school. We have the old red brick building. The guy wrote in my yearbook to the old red brick building, and the floors they're in, long may they wave. And they did. They actually went up and down like this. You tripped if you didn't walk it properly, and we got nothing done. The teacher came to me, and she said, "I'm not going to let you submit this." She said, "It's too Blue Monday-ish." She said, I want something a little more cheerful out of you." So I rewrote the essay. Said, Oshkosh is going to be wonderful. We're going to do great things, and we're going to go ahead. And I won the prize. Maybe you know I could be a lawyer. I could take both sides of this when I got to it. And then, when I was in law school, I was amazed to see that something was happening. There was a referendum for the city manager form of government. And it looked just great to have a city manager who was professional in running the city. And we are a big city compared to most on this form of government. And we get qualified city managers. We can attract them. We're desirable to come to. And when I got out of law school, and I came back to Oshkosh then, and we were getting a new high school. This was the old one. This was the old one right here. I sat in this room many times on detention. We called it the Sunshine Room. And so I knew it well. And we were in the City Hall, the old City Hall over on State Street, and we were refurbishing this now, and things were moving, and things were on their way. But every year, every 2 years, the people who lost the election, the council, the city, the mayor, alderman people, ran a referendum. They tried to throw us out. Every 2 years, it was like clockwork that we would have to do that. And we never could. Those people were insufferable. They just would not give in. They would not quit. And when I got to be council president in 1967, I said to the city attorney, there's something wrong here. We're just not hitting on respect to this office of the president. And they want a mayor. A lot of them want a mayor. And I said, I think if they got a mayor, that would make them happy. And John Pence is the city attorney at that time, and he said, no, we can't do it. We can't legally do that. So I served my term as president, and we got things done. But in 1978, they did do it. They changed it. Like you're proposing now to do, to change back to, it was at that time that it was moved to change the council president to the mayor. And it was a remarkable the change that took place. The attitude changed completely. They didn't have their argument anymore. They couldn't argue that we don't have a mayor. But it was still the underlying argument that said, you elect the mayor, the council elects the mayor. We don't get our chance to do that. We don't think that's right. And finally, 20 years ago, it was changed by a referendum. By a referendum that was passed and presented to the people. This form of government that you are sitting in today, and which you are using, which has a mayor who has no more power than any of the rest of you, and a mayor, and you have your council, and you have what they did not have in the aldermanic days. There's 7 people that the person can talk to. They couldn't do that in the mayor days. You had an alderman, and you didn't get that mayor on your side. The other 15 weren't going to help you. We have now a system where any one of us, any one of you sitting up there will listen to anybody because they're all your citizens. They're all your electors. And so we have the system now down refined to what the people wanted, and it's working fine. And now you are proposing to do something that you could well be opening Pandora's box. You're going to, without that referendum, you're going to overturn a referendum and by yourselves decide that you have the power and you want to change. I don't think that we need to change at all. I think things are working fine. I think the council manager system is working the way it's supposed to work, and it's working well. But if you're going to do that and you don't have a referendum, then you will be having the possibility, the stirring up again of all those old emotions and all of those people who will be losing their mayor, who won't have the mayor, who like that form of government, and now they have it and they're satisfied with the way it is, but it's still city manager. It is the city manager form of government. I urge you, don't do this. Don't go back and take a step back to take the mayor away, because a lot of people want the mayor in the city. And if you're going to do that, at least don't do it on your own. If you think it's that urgent and that important to do that, if you want to put it to a referendum to let the people decide, I would say then do that. But I don't think you need to do that. I think things are going well. And 3 of you are going to be leaving. And you're going to be voting on something of this importance, and then next month you won't be here anymore. And do you want that to be on your legacy? That when you left, after that, what you caused did open Pandora's box? And you were gone to say, don't bother me about it, I'm not there anymore. I don't think you ran for the council in the first place to have that stain go with you, and to not have, to have something that would be very harmful to the city. I urge you, please, don't do this. There's nothing to be gained by doing this.
Mr. Mansky, your 5 minutes have passed. If you could wrap it up, please.
Well, I'm done.
Thank you. Sounds good. Thank you. Next up is ordinance 24116, amend titles of mayor and deputy mayor to council president and council vice president with ordinances, policies, documents, and other references. Again, these were just the first reading of those. No action tonight. They'll be on next meeting's agenda as well. On to new resolutions. Resolution 24-117, resolution of support for campaign finance reform. We do have a few people registered to speak on this. I have first up Cheryl Hansen, followed by Katie Sherrill. Cheryl, if you'd like to come on up, welcome. And then Katie, and then we have John Peterson after that.
I'm going to keep this brief because I had a tooth pulled this morning. I just really wanted to thank the council for your prompt action on this resolution in such a short period of time. I'm really pleased that you're going to take care of it, hopefully tonight, and hopefully it will pass. And I'll just share with you a quote from Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and she said, "If there was one decision I'd overrule, it would be Citizens United. The notion that we have all the democracy that money can buy strays so far from what our democracy should be." So I'm hoping that we will be the 173rd municipality, that we can add the city of Oshkosh to that list as we keep moving forward to get this done. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Sherrill, I hope I'm saying that pretty close. Excellent. And then followed by John Peterson. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for letting me speak tonight. I'm actually a town of Clayton resident, but I'm a member of Wisconsin United to Amend since 2013. I organized Neenah Menasha back when we could do the advisory referendums back in 2014, almost 10 years ago. Unfortunately, we're no longer allowed to do that, but I've been helping Cheryl. We go to 2 different municipalities around the state, and I do a lot of the ones around the northeastern part of Wisconsin, and I'm just here to say I hope you will support our resolution tonight, like so many other communities in this area. I'll keep it short, too. I know John and Cheryl have already spoken at these meetings, and you got a nice long packet of information and shows where we've done it, but I appreciate you guys taking the time. And just a reminder that our system is broken because of the big money in politics. It trickles down even at the local level now. So until we can get a constitutional amendment, that won't change. So any silo issue you have is affected by that. Hopefully tonight you will vote yes and become part of our movement. Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have John Peterson. Welcome.
My name is John Peterson. I live at 402 Wildwood in Oshkosh, and I'm a member of the Wisconsin United to Amend. I support the supporting documents that we have provided, and our prior presentations have pretty well covered the basis for approving the proposed campaign finance resolution to restore the representation of our local citizens. So I'll be very brief and focused with my comments today. Outside spending for the Wisconsin 2022 midterms was about $92 million. The amount of outside spending has steadily grown from 2010, when the Citizens United decision by the Supreme Court allowed unlimited funding by large corporations. The amount of outside spending in 2010 was $19 million, and in 2022 had grown to $92 million. This 5 times increase in spending dominated the elections to the point where the voice of the common citizen was insignificant. The $92 million was evenly split at $48 million for Republicans and $44 million for Democrats, but only 20% of the total spent was by Wisconsin citizens. As a result, we the people spending was overwhelmed by big money spending. The passing of similar resolutions by municipalities to limit big money election spending is intended to bring pressure upon our state legislature to take up this issue. In Wisconsin, over 170 municipalities, including towns, cities, villages, and counties, have passed similar resolutions. As a result of community grassroots action, 22 states have similarly called for a constitutional amendment to allow the limiting of political contributions and spending. Wisconsin is not yet one of them. Towns across the state and country realize that they have lost and continue to lose their home rule sovereignty to the powerful politicians who represent the interests of their funders. Town leaders increasingly realize that they have lost the ability to serve and protect their local citizens. Locally, Appleton, Menasha, Neenah, Fond du Lac, Grand Chute, Green Bay, and Madison are among those having approved the resolution to amend. Oshkosh is one of the most important cities yet to pass this resolution. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. I don't see any. Thank you. I have no one else registered to speak on this one, so I'll take a motion and a second on 24-117.
Move it.
I'll go second.
Any discussion on this? Councilmember Bulow.
I just want to say thank you guys for your work on this. Please don't ever stop working on this. The only thing I'm sad about is that we're 173rd and not first to pass this. So I'll be voting emphatically yes, and I just can't thank you enough.
Councilmember Stevenson, followed by Councilmember Esslinger.
I echo Carl's points there. Thank you for what you guys do, and I think it's a really cool way to get publicly involved. I just really want to point this out that you guys are doing this across the state, across the nation. So when there's a hard thing in front of you, you just kind of keep moving forward, and getting a constitutional amendment passed is definitely a hard thing. So I will be happy to support this resolution, knowing that it is just advisory, but hoping that if Wisconsin, or if Oshkosh makes this step, that maybe Wisconsin will make another step, and then another domino falls, and maybe a constitutional amendment will be coming down the way. So thank you again for all you guys do.
Councilmember Esslinger, followed by Councilmember Ford.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to vote in favor of this. I was hoping, it sounds strange, but I was hoping that someone would come up and have a counter to this, because, you know, anytime there's a resolution or ordinance, I want to hear both sides, and there was no one here to speak counter to this, and I haven't heard any arguments against it, so then I'm thinking maybe it speaks for itself that this is so ridiculous. And the numbers that the gentleman had just for the state of Wisconsin in the unbelievable millions of dollars, and then of course you have nationally the dollars that are wasted in nonsense on both sides. So I hope you're successful in your end game. If there's something I can do outside of voting on this, please contact me, and I'll do whatever I can to help you out. Thank you.
Councilmember Ford.
Yeah, I'm fine with this. I appreciate the nonpartisan message in particular, and the resolution's specific reference to corporations, unions, nonprofits, or other artificial entities. I think anything that we can do to recognize the negative impact that explicitly partisan organizations have on our nonpartisan local government is a positive thing, so I'm happy to see this.
Excellent. If there's no other comments, if you'll take the roll on 24-117.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Muglebauer.
Aye.
Carried 7.
Resolution 24-118, this is to approve the fee schedule for sewer use charges.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion? I see none. If you'll please take the roll.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
No.
Erickson.
Aye.
Muglebauer.
Aye.
Carried 6-1.
Resolution 24-119, appropriate ARPA funds for 2024 specific infrastructure projects. Take a motion and a second, please.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion on these? I see Finance Director Van Gompel's here, and I'm not going to miss an opportunity to have him speak tonight, so if you'd like to, for those at home at least, tell us what we're spending and what we got left and why we're doing it when we're doing it.
Sure. Before you this evening is a resolution to basically appropriate $388,000 for some additional ARPA requests. The listing is attached to the resolution. It's the bottom box. There's 8 projects that are being financed through additional ARPA. If council were to approve this resolution, we would have $421,000 remaining of the infrastructure portion of the ARPA funds, which was by council resolution 75% of the total appropriation. I'm not sure if there's any specific questions on any of the appropriations or you wanted me to cover those, but basically what we do is this is a legal authority to spend an additional $388,000 of ARPA funds.
Sounds good, leaving us 420, some change, and we've got a few months to spend it yet.
Yeah.
To appropriate it.
One of the parting gifts I have for our city manager is a list of some additional potential projects. Some of those have been discussed with the city manager, but again, he's not quite ready to make a recommendation on those. But it would be sufficient to say that we have enough items that would fill up the remaining $421,000.
Sounds good. I don't see anybody pressing their button. If we'll take the roll on 24-119.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Muglebauer.
Aye.
Carried 7.
Resolution 24-120, approve Healthy Neighborhood Initiative funding through TID 12. Motion and a second, please.
Move it.
Second.
Discussion. Councilmember Stevenson.
Yeah, I'd just kind of like to take a moment for this ordinance, the next resolution, to just kind of highlight this TIF funding process. I think it's a really cool thing that we get to do, right? It allows us to extend our TIFs for 1 year. We get to capture that increment, and we get to put it back into our Healthy Neighborhoods funds. We get to fund housing repairs. We get to help with our down payment assistance, and the extra benefit that it doesn't affect our tax levy or the citizens' tax rate. So I really just wanted to take a moment to explain that a little bit and to highlight the fiscal responsibility and civic engagement kind of in this one. And if Director Nyforth has anything to add on to it, I'd throw it over to her as well.
Sure. This is something that the city has been doing since state statutes allowed us to. So this is a way for us to help with affordable housing activities in the city. So in the incoming years, you're going to be seeing more of these. And we, like I said, we wait till, it's the end of the life of the TID. We're allowed to extend it 1 year and capture that increment and use that for the affordable housing activities. And it will be closed then next year, a year later.
I don't see any other, there we go. Councilmember Bulow.
Love this.
If you'll take the roll on 24-120.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Muglebauer.
Aye.
Carried 7.
Resolution 24-121, approve Healthy Neighborhood Initiative funding through TID 28.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilmember Bulow.
Love this too.
And this one's a little bit different because this is the beach building. So if you remember, they did receive a TIF to help with the rehab of that building and converting it, but since Christine Ann bought it, it is going to be converted to a tax-exempt property, so we are closing that district next year.
If you'll please take the roll on 24-121.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Muglebauer.
Aye.
Carried 7. Oh, I'm sorry.
You sure about that?
Erickson? That's fine. I'm looking, oh, no, there's Erickson.
Aye.
Thank you. Carried 7.
Thank you. 2 resolutions left. We have Resolution 24-122. This is to accept donations and approve agreement with Oshkosh Area Community Foundation, D&J Quality Construction, for gazebo at William Waters Plaza. I'll take a motion and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion on this? I know it's a project that has been on the radar for a bit. We struggled at times to kind of kickstart it, move it along, hit some roadblocks, but I'm happy to see the public-private partnership has come through and able to put something nice in the downtown space for people to gather. So appreciate all the efforts that all of city staff have had on this project and those in the public that have helped move it along on funding. So with that, if you'll take the roll on 24-122.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 7.
Final resolution, Resolution 24-123, approve specific implementation plan for all remaining phases of multifamily development at the West 3400 block of Lake Butamore Drive. Plan Commission recommends approval. I do have one person registered to speak, Ashley Hess, if you'd like to come on up. Good evening. Welcome.
Ashley Hesse, 4815 Plumbers Point Road, if that matters. And just really nothing new, just an opportunity to remind some of you who may not have been around of, I'm just going to focus on the archaeological importance of this space, whether you're aware of it or not. I can pull up some maps and show you, but it doesn't matter because truth will present itself. So y'all just be prepared. You're going to find some interesting things, and there's going to be eyes watching. And you can take an example of what's happening down at Plummer, or the lakefront here in the park. The other thing I've come across is, this says watershed. Whether you think putting in impervious surfaces and big old ponds is going to be good for the environment versus what it is right now, it's pretty much a fallow and underutilized space. You know, it is what it is, but I'll just say, I was talking to some folks on your city waterworks, and when they started installing that wonderful infrastructure free of charge to y'all, you're going to get to use all that, thanks to the public. Nobody asked taxpayers, but nonetheless, typical development sets a shared obligation and responsibility, and a lot of times it lands on a developer's lap. But the city just put that all in there. I was talking to somebody that was actually in the trenches, digging those trenches. Whether it's natural or otherwise, they had to shut the project down for 3 days, as I understood, because they thought they hit a gas line. Well, I don't know if any of you believe in this climatological change or any of that stuff. It doesn't really matter because reality is what it is. But there was so much methane gas coming out of that narrow little trench, they had to shut it down for safety concerns for 3 days because they thought they hit a gas line. No, it wasn't a gas line. It was just naturally occurring methane that is being released. So I'd encourage you all, for as long as you're on these positions, to start thinking about watershed and waterfront development. Like, put in some parameters, because this is an anomaly. And I got to tell you, there's national movements in every major city and all kinds of places. Waterfront development. You got standards. We have reasons waterfront is important. We have reasons watershed exists. I got to tell you, this is a development that is, no matter how you want to spin it, it is going to, generations from this point forward, undermine the water quality that is absolutely critical. I live out in Butamore, and I'm starting to see blue-green, not algal growth. We all know what that is. It's cyanobacteria. It's toxic. It's moved from Lake Winnebago because our water quality has gotten so poor and diminished because we have this incessant need for money. Like, we could have developed this in a far more appropriate manner, my friends. That's all I can say. That's all I got to say, you know. Y'all made your choice, no matter what we say is moving forward. And they're going to come here and say, give us carte blanche authority just to move forward in everything that the previous council agreed upon. Hey, phase development. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not going to negatively impact anything. Now y'all just being asked to give them absolute, just move everything forward with no nothing more you could do about it. What if something goes south and it's really, maybe this isn't it? We just had meetings last night with the future candidates about housing and the needs and appropriate use of siting and housing and what we need. There's a lot of issues here. So y'all heard it. Maybe you didn't hear the previous stuff. Look, it is what it is, but thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no one else registered to speak on this one, so I'll take a motion and a second to bring it to the floor.
Move it.
Second.
Any discussion on 24-123? Councilmember Ford?
I'll be quick because I talked a lot about this one. Everybody knows I thought it was inappropriate for us to renege on the compromise, and I certainly thought it was inappropriate for members of the public to make inaccurate statements about the nature of that compromise the last time this came up. But I also respect democracy, and this group made a decision, and I'm not going to stand in the way at this point. So,
thank you very much. Councilmember Stevenson?
Yeah, I'll be brief too. On this one, I have heard some criticisms on the phase development, and if you don't know my background, I'm a big code guy. I like to be able to tie things that we do up here to our code and have a rationale for doing it and be able to consistently do that for project after project, right? To not give special treatment to individual projects. Asking that this project comes back for every single phase and get 6 different approvals would be out of the ordinary. It would be a special exception to have to continually have them be approved every single time for every single phase. Our code does not call out things like phases like that. So I mean, when we're looking at phases, really all it is, it's the developer giving us a timeline. They have a parcel, they want to develop it, they have the right to have their site plan approved right now. If something were to come up that there were Native American remains, or if there was something wrong with wetlands, or if there was methane under the property, that site would certainly come back and fix those things, or they would have to come back to this council to get new approvals if that site plan were to change substantially. So the idea that we're moving this too quickly because there's phases, I think is just completely false. That is the process that we go by. That's what we've done with other projects, and that's what I'm going to do right now.
Any other comments? I see none. If you'll take the roll on 24-123.
Ford.
Aye.
Stevenson.
Aye.
Bulow.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Esslinger.
Aye.
Erickson.
Aye.
Mughawar.
Aye.
Carried 7.
That's the portion of our action items for this evening. Moving on to council discussion, directing the city manager, future agenda items. I don't have anything here. Council member announcements and statements would be next if anybody has anything. Deputy Mayor Erickson.
Thank you. So we had our Transportation Committee meeting at 4 o'clock today where we approved or recommending approval of the Transit Development Plan. My understanding is that will be coming to council the first meeting of April, which I believe is April 9th. So just a heads up that will be coming, and there's a few route changes along with a fare change that's being recommended in that plan.
All right. Councilmember Stevenson, followed by Councilmember Esslinger.
Sure. Just brief update. Museum, 100 years old. Great asset to our city. I'm super proud to serve on that board as the liaison, and I'm super proud of where our museum has gotten to right now. I think it's, I loved it when I was a little kid, but it's gone leaps and bounds over what I liked when I was a little kid. So that's all I wanted to say.
Councilmember Esslinger.
Thank you, Mayor. A little bit over a week ago, City Council and staff got together and had a, what was the specific term?
Strategic planning session?
Strategic planning session. Thank you, Mayor.
There you go.
Whew, don't get old. So we got together from about 8 o'clock. Thank you very much for the hot breakfast. That was fantastic. And we got together till about 4:30 and went through a lot of different things, a lot of different ideas. It's fun to listen to other council members, what their ideas are, and staff, and interact with the staff on a one-to-one basis. So I don't know, I thought it was a fun, positive thing. So again, thanks council and staff for taking the time and going through it. Appreciate it.
No, that's a good statement. No, it's I was going to mention just briefly as well. I'll just piggyback on our 2-year plan will come up at the end of '24 here, so working on the next plan. What's nice is to come away with the core values, the core pillars that we're still trying to achieve, they remain strong, they remain relevant, and we keep working towards them. So it's not necessarily anywhere close to just tossing the old plan and starting new. It's just keep polishing it, keep making improvements, keep striving for better, and appreciate staff's time spending that with us that day. And we don't get many opportunities to interact outside of these walls, so it's a productive session. So appreciate everyone's attention that day. If there's nothing else, turn it over to Mr. Fitzpatrick for the city manager announcements and statements.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. There's just a few items here on city manager announcements. The first one listed is a cooperative purchase of some laptops for OPD. So that's our regular cycle replacement. So that's something that we're working through. Another item on city manager announcements is a professional service agreement with Engberg Anderson, Inc. for some space needs assessment. And that's really for our transit administration and garage facility. We just want to focus on the future, and as was mentioned, we want to plan appropriately. We also have an agreement with the Office of Jonathan Tate for housing design books. This is really intended to help assist homeowners and builders to understand the types of infill that are compatible with our existing neighborhoods. And just wanted to give a update for folks regarding absentee early voting. It begins March 19th. And for folks that may not know, we've changed the location of that to 19 East Irving. The reason that was changed is to try to make it more convenient for the public, for people that have participated in absentee voting here at City Hall. It can get a little congested because, as was mentioned earlier, this building was originally designed to be a high school, and there really isn't a lot of ease for mobility for large crowds. So 19 East Irving has been set up to try to make that a little better experience for the public, and hopefully it'll be easy for them to get in and out, park, and exercise their right to vote. Another thing that I just wanted to mention is State of the City video release. It's going to be coming out March 27th, and our State of the City is going to be a little bit different this year. We've decided, although it was nice to have one mega event where department heads and citizens could interact, we became aware that it may not be most convenient for people. So we're changing it up a little bit this year. We're going to have, rather than one event, we'll have multiple outreach opportunities. We're going to be at the Business Expo. I know City Manager Roloff is going to be visiting a variety of service clubs. We're going to establish that video and then make it a little more convenient for people to access what's going on with the city whenever it's convenient for them. So that'll be available on social media on March 27th. And then the last thing really I have to report on is what Finance Director Van Gompel spoke about a little bit earlier. That's the ARPA grant funding. So he talked a little bit about the infrastructure component, and for citizens that may not know, the council decided to set aside 75% of that funding for infrastructure, but the remaining 25% is designed to be used for nonprofit impacts as a result of ARPA. So we received 50 applications, and I think we have about $4 million left in funds, something like that.
Just under 3.
Just under 3, I'm sorry. And so City Manager Roloff is reviewing those, and he's going to be providing recommendations as soon as he possibly can to the council. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
That was a dynamite drop-in from our outgoing finance director to make sure he corrected Fitz. Thank you for that. Nicely done. With that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.